Hello, I'm going to quickly bring up a quote said by the Lebron James in which he says, "I'm going to use all my tools, my God-given ability, and make the best life I can with it." Hello, my name is Andrew Castillo, and today I'm going to persuade on why you should believe LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. In order to argue that, I'm going to bring three main points. And the first point, I'm going to talk about what is an NBA player and their notable achievements one can achieve in the NBA. And two, on who LeBron James is and why his playoff success and dominance and his all-around play style helps his case as the greatest of all time. And the final reason and on why his unprecedented longevity of consistency also helps his case with being the greatest of all time. So, I believe I am qualified to deliver this argument since I have been researching sports journalists, I've been researching NBA records, and I've been researching the life of LeBron James. So without further ado, allow me to discuss on what the NBA player is and what their notable achievements one can achieve. So, in the first point, I wanted to make it very clear that the NBA is the toughest basketball league there is. Don't believe me? Well, according to the own words by the NBA found in NBA.com, it states, the NBA is a professional basketball league of 30 teams across North America featuring the best players in the world. Well, I know you might be saying that they're a little bit biased, so that's why I went to another website that breaks down the global reach and just the competitive of the NBA, and it comes from daisydreams.net, in which they break down, according to reports from various researchers, the NBA is among the top 5 sports league when considering revenue. So the reason why I brought that up is because since they're among the top 5 biggest leagues in the world in making money, that means that a lot of people are watching them and a lot of people are respecting on what they do, and they love what they see because they believe they're the best. So that's why I brought up that stat. And the final evidence to back up the claim on why the NBA is the toughest league in the world is because of their global reach. They're a very diverse basketball league since they have a huge global reach, like I said. And to back that up, I went to the website called globaledge.msu.edu, in which it says the league expects to reach over 200 different countries and present their games in more than 50 separate languages. And I have witnessed a lot of NBA players that are born outside of the U.S. and North America, in which they're very good players. So I believe that's more proof on the NBA is expanding and they have a global reach, and why a lot of people really love the NBA and why they respect on if you're achieving awards there, if you're winning championships there, people are gonna pay attention and people are gonna value more than compared to other leagues. So having said all of that, I will now discuss on who LeBron is and why his playoff success and his play style of being an all-around player helps his case as the greatest of all time. So, in order to understand why you should believe LeBron James is the greatest of all time, and you have to go back to when he was a high school student. He was a very hyped up player, and in order to prove that, according to the New York Times, it states when he was 17, his team in Akron, Ohio, had played national TV to an ESPN audience. Sports Illustrated had plastered James on its cover, tagging him as a chosen one. So as you can hear, he was a very respected athlete at a young age, and knowing all of that context of how much he was hyped up, you have to understand of what LeBron does in the basketball court. LeBron James, basketball, basically what it means is two opposing teams playing against one another, and they're trying to score the most points they can by scoring in the basket, and the other team is obviously trying to stop the other team from scoring, and by defending, by stealing the ball, by blocking. So LeBron James has the opportunity to score points do assists. In other words, meaning he can pass the ball to a teammate, and if they score in a short amount of time, he gets the assist and like helps the team. He's helping his team, or he can get a rebound where either his own team or the opposing team misses a shot. He can grab the ball when it misses, and that helps his case as being a great, rebounder. And he can also defend good by stealing the ball or blocking a shot of an opponent. So pretty much that's what basketball is all about. And since, like I said earlier, since a young age, at the age of 17, he's been having that spotlight because he did exactly what he needed to do in the court, and he was just so hyped up that ESPN was on him, Sports Illustrated was on him, because they believed he was be one of the greatest NBA prospects of all time. So, according to support that he is an all-around presence in the court, I have to bring up a report from Forbes.com in which they say LeBron James is the best all-around player, and their individual stats only reinforce this notion. He is the only player in the NBA history with 30,000 points, 8,000 assists, and 8,000 rebounds. And to further prove also the part in which I say that his playoff success also proves he's the greatest of all time, I'm going to show you in the screen right now that lists 19 different playoff records in which he is listed either the top 1, top 2, or top 3. And that is a lot of records to have in just the playoffs alone. And in other words, the playoffs is when the best teams play in the league play for the championship. So he is very dominant, not only basketball in general, but in the playoffs when it matters the most. So, and that source is coming from USA Today, so you'll see it on the screen. So, I will now argue. The final point I'm going to argue is why LeBron James' longevity of his consistency and dominance adds to his greatest of all time case. So, I'm first going to add my input of what I have been witnessing this NBA season, the 2023 season, and LeBron James is 38 years old. I have witnessed a lot of players falling off at that age where they're not the same no more as they were in their prime, like at 28, 29, 30. And LeBron James has just been killing it. He's been being amazing in the court. He's still scoring a lot of points, and you can argue so much that he is still the most important player on his team, and when he leads them, when he scores the most points. And I have seen it personally when I watch the games, that when he goes to the bench, the team falls apart. Like, they need him on the court. So doing that 38 years old adds to the argument of his longevity. That adds to his case of being the greatest of all time. And another stat that I would like to bring up that comes from yardbarker.com. His longevity is, you can see it due to this stat, once again broken by yardbarker.com. It states, the continued of the most incredible streaks in the NBA, James continues to be the youngest player to reach every 1,000 point total in NBA history, from 1,000 to 38,000. So in order for him to do that, he can't be injured throughout all his career. He has to play a long career to get that much points to 38,000. So I brought up this stat that proves his longevity. And the final stat I would like to bring up comes from statmuse.com, and I'm going to also post it on the screen, and which compared to other players, not only from this NBA season, but from the past as well, that no one has his age puts up the numbers like he does, whether it's his points and his all-around presence in rebounding and assists, and his efficiency of being able to score the basket very consistently. So I'm going to bring it up in the screen, and as you can see, he's averaging 25 points, 8 rebounds, 6.6 assists. So having said all of that and breaking down his stats, his life, knowing what an NBA basketball league is, knowing how tough it is, how much a lot of people respect it, of how many are tuned in, how many players outside of North America respect the NBA for what it is and what players they have that compete against one another. I believe all of this is evidence that LeBron James is a very consistent athlete. He's a very consistent basketball player. He's still dominant to this day at 38 years old. And due to his playoff success, his all-around play style of not being selfish, being able to score, being able to defend, proves his case as being one of the not being the greatest player of all time. So hope you enjoyed me breaking down who LeBron is and why you should believe he is the greatest of all time. So thank you and hope you have a great day.